from the Digital Media Center on the campus of Southern Oregon University in Ashland, Oregon. This is Ramping Up Your English, an educational program for intermediate level English language learners. Here's your host for Ramping Up Your English, John Letts.
Welcome to Ramping Up Your English, winner of the Southern Oregon Television Award for Program of the Year and the Award for Best Educational Program. I'm the host and producer, John Letts. Ramping Up Your English is an educational support program for intermediate English learners. It's a program for people from all language backgrounds. Ramping Up Your English is also for people of all ages. If you've already passed the beginning stages of learning English and you want to reach higher levels of proficiency, this program is designed to meet your needs. We take a content-based approach to helping you reach higher levels of English proficiency. Our current thematic unit is animals. This is segment 1 of episode 56. Check out this animal scene. Can you name the animals you see here? How about the continent on which the video was shot? Well, if your answer is elephants and Africa, you're right. And you understood English enough to understand my English question well enough to answer it. Well, you see, today's idea for today's show, this episode, is to introduce more animals and to reinforce your knowledge of vocabulary having to do with animals. Now, there are two kinds of elephants, African and Asian. They have many traits in common, like their large size and the fact that they keep growing as long as they're alive. There are some noticeable differences, though. Asian elephants don't grow as large as their African cousins. The Asian elephant has smaller ears and also has only one lip at the end of its trunk. Many Asian elephants are trained to do heavy work, like carrying logs. African elephants are not used for that kind of labor, but they are trained for circuses and zoos. And this program, as it's being recorded, what's happened is the Barnum and Bailey Circus, known as the greatest show on earth, stopped using elephants in its circus because of concerns about the training methods. Then the circus folded its big tent for the last time and closed. Elephants like this one can still be seen in zoos. In the spirit of disclosure, I've seen elephants perform at the greatest show on earth, and I've ridden on the back of an elephant in a parade. Now, I've never traveled to Africa to see elephants in their natural habitat. Let's learn more about Earth's largest mammal in this video.
Peering out from behind vegetation, we see Earth's largest land mammal, an African elephant. The long trunk and huge floppy ears leave no doubt. Elephants are found on the plains of Africa, where they live in small family groups led by maternal leaders. But these elephants live in captivity in a place called Wildlife Safari in Winston, Oregon. For most of us working people, going to Africa to see this megafauna in situ is out of the question, but wildlife parks and zoos give us a chance to see African elephants closer to home. Wildlife Safari offers summer camps for children, and these kids are seeing this elephant close up, each camper feeding her a carrot and then getting to touch her sensitive trunk.
Isn't she a good girl? She's very smart.
Valerie, all right, get over.
So Valerie's going to show off her ears to you, and that's the best clue as to what kind of elephant she is. Do you guys know if she's an African or an Asian elephant? Go ahead. She is an African elephant. Good job. So you can tell she knows she's an African elephant. So you can help her. You can see that her big old ears, they go all the way below her chin, go all the way back to her shoulder.
This elephant is Valerie. She's trained. Look closely to see her treat fly into her mouth.
Valerie, what do you think about being dirty?
Hey, I think it's time we're going to have to give Valerie a bath here, so I think you guys are going to head back to
here's the highlight of the kids' summer camp, feeding the elephant and touching her trunk.
How old is she? She's 34 years old.
As the campers take their turns, others ask questions about the elephants.
So a lot of times if they need to pick something up off the ground with their nose, they'll feel around with those whiskers first to make sure it's not something bad that they shouldn't be picking up.
Kids learn about the functions of an elephant's
They eat
trunk.
with them, they drink with them, they breathe through them, so it's pretty important to them. Does anyone have a guess at how much food they eat every day? Go ahead. They eat a lot of pounds. They eat about 200 pounds of food every day per elephant. So it's a pretty big job getting them their food. They eat about 150 to 175 pounds of hay every day. The rest is things like produce, which is what you guys are feeding for now. So
They even gave me a turn at feeding the elephant.
Give her a nice hat.
Have you seen what
Just let her go, I guess. Yeah, because I.
Valerie's gonna say goodbye, you guys. You can give her a Okay, guys, you're gonna follow me. We're gonna head back to the barn.
Watch the treat fly into her mouth. Also, notice the hand signal the trainer gives to Valerie.
Guys, you're gonna follow me. We're gonna head back to the barn. We'll keep you guys in the shade. It's pretty hot today.
awesome? Yeah.
I don't know if this elephant was trained or if it had a name, but it did hang around during the presentation. Wildlife Safari has several elephants, and the park's greatest expense is feeding them and all the other animals people can see while driving through. That's probably the biggest challenge for the Oakland, California Zoo as well. You don't see these elephants lined up at a feeding trough. It's important to their health, physical, mental, and emotional, that they are challenged to find food in a different place each time. Now, the challenge doesn't seem all that great, but it does keep them active. The body parts that make elephants so easy to identify help them survive in their natural habitats. Their great body size saves them from many, but not all, predators. Their long trunks help them locate food and move it to their mouths. And their big floppy ears, they help radiate excess body heat, helping them regulate their core temperature. Their white tusks help them fight off enemies, but have also been a death warrant. Prized for their ivory, elephants are murdered in shocking numbers by poachers, a problem that has been addressed for some time by most governments, but still persists. Since those dental protrusions often cause serious health problems in captivity, those tusks are often cut short. This elephant is using its trunk to find food. The nostril end is very sensitive, telling the elephant what's edible and what's not. They can grab things with that trunk's end and bring the food up to their mouth. Elephants are not furry creatures, but they do have some widely spaced hairs on their craggy, sensitive skin. Their feet are round in shape, and their legs are like tree trunks, wide cylinders that support up to 7 tons of weight. Africa has both savanna elephants and smaller forest elephants. Most elephants live in matriarchal groups of from 8 to 12 members, but there are herds of up to 100 elephants. Individual elephants never stop growing. They keep getting bigger until they die. Efforts continue to protect these magnificent animals. Elephant preserves and national parks exist in Africa to carry on this vital work.
You're watching Ramping Up Your English on RVTV Voices. Our current unit is animals, and today's episode is about animals of Africa. Now, this segment is segment 2 of episode 56. I want to share a great book I have about Africa. Now, the first thing to know about Africa is that it's a big continent. It's the home of some of the world's most fascinating animals, but that's not all. Despite some deeply troubled areas, the people of Africa provide the greatest richness to the continent. This book features this colorful humanity in various regions. There's a lot of rich culture about which to learn. Here are some of the animals featured. The mandrill has that red nose and blue cheeks. It eats small animals, grass, and fruit, along with other things. Now here's a hippopotamus blowing water out of its nose. They spend the day in ponds, swamps, and rivers, mostly submerged in water. During the nighttime, they emerge onto land, often trotting or running. They move quickly to return to their waterhole. Those who are in their path often get crushed. In fact, death by hippo is the most common casualty from African wildlife. I think this is my favorite picture in the book. You can appreciate the calmness and the sheer size of the western lowland gorillas, but also see the heavily armed soldier. Is he protecting the gorillas from poachers? The war in this area has been deadly for some of these gentle apes and for so many people who share this country with them. Africa, Natural Spirit of the African Continent is published by Paragon Books. I'll have the ISBN posted on my website, letscreate.org. The photography is fantastic, and the text explores the cultural riches of this richly blessed continent. I highly recommend you find it at your local library or look it up to see if you can own your own copy. Now, when you think of African animals, you probably think of lions as well as elephants, gorillas, and hippopotamus. Known as the king of beasts, the African lion is known for its ferociousness. Well, you're looking at the very definition of apex predator. Lions inhabit grasslands and arid areas of Africa south of the Sahara Desert. Now, they live in groups called prides, and each pride has one mature male. He's the alpha. He's the one who gets to mate with the females. He does not hunt, but he gets the first morsel from the kill. Now, the male has important roles even though they don't generally hunt. The male defends the territory, and he also defends the females. If anything would threaten one of the females, I've seen pictures of male lions. They're like standing guard, only they're lying down while the females are sleeping during the day after their hard night of hunting. Now, as I said, the females do the hunting, usually in groups. A female can hunt by herself, but she's not going to have the same success rate as when they cooperate and hunt together. The males are distinguished from the females by those bushy manes they have on their necks. Now, a lion's roar can be heard 6 miles away, so it appears that intruding males don't have much of an excuse. There's so much to learn about the king of beasts. Let's see what you learn from this video.
Meet the King of the Beasts, a well-known title for a lion. This male lion looks relaxed, and you'd be relaxed too if you were an apex predator and the females of your pride did all the hunting and you just had to show up to get first dibs on the food. Male lions are easy to identify with their great size and the thick mane protecting their necks. A group of lions is called a pride, and there's only one dominant male in each pride. This male mates with all the females in the pride, the lionesses. The alpha male needs protection from other males who fight for being head of the pride. These female lions are at Wildlife Safari in Winston, Oregon. Their sleek shape and long tail enable them to outrun and bring down their prey. They often do this as a team. This lioness is at the Oakland Zoo in California. Lions live in the wild in Africa, but most zoos and wildlife parks in America have lions. Lions are the top members of a class known as big cats. This lion scratches her ear just like my little cat. The zoo in Oakland has male lions, or at least this male lion. During the daytime, lions aren't very active, conserving their energy for the nighttime when they hunt. Lions are carnivores, attacking and killing their prey. They use the cover of darkness to get close. Then they use their powerful hind legs for a final sprint. Their long canine teeth finish the kill. Lions eat a variety of other animals: zebras, impalas, antelope. While they're not the fastest of animals, they're among the 5 fastest. They don't have to eat every day either. They can lie around digesting their last big meal. The alpha male gets choice of the food. So let's look at the adaptations of lions that help give them the enviable spot at the apex of predators. Their light brown color helps them get close to ambush their prey. Their cooperative hunting allows them to bring down animals much larger than themselves.
Making noise.
Their streamlined bodies and powerful legs help them to burst into a sprint, outrunning many other animals. Their powerful jaws and long pointed canine teeth help them immobilize and kill their prey. Their whiskers are very sensitive, helping them avoid objects on dark nights, and they can retract their claws for more speed when running. Lions live in a variety of habitats in Africa. They rule over the great grasslands like the Serengeti, but they're also found in dense jungle and in wetlands. That may be why they do okay in zoos and wildlife parks. Lions are such formidable predators that they're kept separate from other zoo animals, lest the other animals become their meal. This male at least has company in the Oakland Zoo. He's calling out to a lioness. For her part, she seems to welcome his playful attention. In a food web, some consumers need to be at the top, and lions fill that niche very well.
You're watching Ramping Up Your English on RVTV Voices. This is segment 3 of episode 56. We're learning about some of the iconic animals of Africa. We'll find details on some of these animals to model how to research and report on the animal in later episodes. Today's objective is to get to know some of this megafauna. Well, one of the animals that comes to mind when talking about African animal is the giraffe. Its exotic long neck and sharply sloped body distinguish it from any other animal in the world. Let's learn more about giraffes.
When you think of tall animals, you probably think of giraffes. And you're right. Of the land mammals, they take the prize for longest necks. The neck of a giraffe has 7 vertebrates, just like people, but each vertebrae is elongated, and they're connected as a ball and socket joint, so their necks are very flexible. Giraffes are native to Africa. A male giraffe can get taller than a female, up to 18 feet in height. Note the 2 horns on each giraffe's head. These start out as cartilage on newborn giraffes, but over time that cartilage turns to bone. The horns stay under the skin and fur of the giraffe. Of all the giraffe senses, their sense of sight is the best developed. These eyes, plus the fact that they're so tall, helps the giraffe spot predators from far off. Their legs can deliver quite a kick, protecting most adults. A giraffe's legs are long and not all that flexible, and that makes their gait a bit stiff, whether they're walking or running. Nonetheless, giraffes can run pretty fast, some up to 37 miles per hour. Their mouths and tongues serve them well in eating leaves from trees. Their lips are tough, allowing them to eat leaves from thorny branches. And their tongues, well, they're long and they can grab branches by twisting around them. Here's a nice close look at the giraffe's mouth and tongue in action. Here's a baby giraffe born in captivity at Wildlife Safari in Winston, Oregon. Visitors to Wildlife Safari can see giraffes up close by going on a feeding activity. These giraffes approach this open wagon to snack on lettuce that'll be handed to them.
Maya, who is also a female, she is going to be 5, and then her baby Kelly, so he's just over 3 months. So they're just not in the drive-thru right now because he is a little too small to go.
While visitors feed the giraffes, staff members educate them on the giraffes they're feeding.
Erin's obviously that. She says no.
Stolen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Silly,
Maybe they got long tongues.
Yeah.
Take notice of a few other differences with these guys. One, Erin is much lighter than me. That is because they are 2 different subspecies of giraffe. So there are 9 subspecies of giraffe total. And we represent 2 of them here at Wildlife Safari. Mate is a Rothschild, so they are much darker with those dark brown spots and the caramel in between their spots. And then Erin is a reticulated, so she has those bright orange spots with the bright white channels in between her spots. I tell Mate's head is a lot more lumpy and bumpy than Erin's is, and that's because the males sequester calcium in a different way. They have calcium deposits all over their head, and that's mainly just for you get something funky in your mouth, Mate. Added armor onto the males' heads because these males do fight for dominance. Erin, you're just a little... She's like, nope, I'm gonna steal it right out of your mouth.
Okay.
So the males have all those lumps and bumps to protect their head during fights.
Giraffes have many physical adaptations that help them survive in their habitats. The most obvious is their long, muscular neck. That puts their head up high. That's where they can reach food that's out of reach by most other animals. This male has left the visitors, perhaps tired of having his food snatched away. While videographer Alex McGlasson films him, the other giraffe takes an interest in his camera.
Hi. I don't think you're close enough, Alex. Good thing I've got the wide angle on there. I mean, hi. She wants you.
Oh my goodness. She's very curious. That's not food, pretty girl. She says, are you sure?
All right, see you later.
Oh, man, were you entertaining?
These giraffes prove to be quite the characters. Later the same day, this giraffe makes an unexpected appearance to summer campers who are here to see elephants.
Much smaller than me. I wouldn't say she's tiny though. Pretty big. Still. Oh God. Don't touch her.
The giraffe came
Don't fear. Hey guys, if you find little pieces of lettuce, just leave them where they are, okay? Because right now we're doing an elephant encounter. You already did a giraffe encounter.
Sadly, giraffes in the wild are not doing so well. Poaching and habitat loss are putting them in danger of extinction. Most would agree that these marvelous mammals are worthy of our protection.
You're watching Ramping Up Your English, and today we're featuring animals from Africa. Now, 3 of the featured fauna include elephants, lions, and giraffes. Now, if you can get animal models like these, you should do so. They'll help you learn the English names for these animals. If you have kids, they're bound to ask you, which of these animals would eat the others? Well, you should have an easy time answering. Giraffes and elephants are herbivores. They only eat plants. The lion, on the other hand, is a carnivore. It could eat the elephant and the giraffe, but it wouldn't be an easy meal. Elephants are quite willing to take on danger to protect their young, and they can do a lot of damage to an animal trying to do them harm. Giraffe isn't defenseless either. They can see predators from a good distance away. Also, their legs can deliver quite a kick. Now, you could point out that this lion, the male, usually doesn't hunt, so it's unlikely to attack either one of these animals. But you know, kids, they're going to have a lot of fun with the animals. So nonetheless, a child is going to have the model lion eat the others. So have you ever noticed that in zoos or wildlife parks, the lions are always separated from the other animals? There's a good reason for that. I hope you enjoyed learning about some of the animals in Africa. Alas, we didn't have time to feature all of them. We'll continue with the animals of Africa in our next episode. Thinking of this episode, how could we feature a little bit of video from Africa and a lot of video of African animals? Well, that bit from Africa, thanks to Video Blocks. I received the video clip of the animals from Africa from them. All the other video is from Wildlife Safari in Winston, Oregon, very much in North America and very far from Africa. You can get in touch with me and tell me how this program's working out for you in improving your English. Send an email to letscreatepro@gmail.com. Visit my website at letscreate.org for all the support materials in this episode. Just navigate to the episode 56 page. You can watch and even download all episodes of Ramping Up Your English at archive.org/details/RogueTV. Use the search box by entering Ramping Up Your English. You'll find all the episodes there. Ramping Up Your English can be seen in Ashland on Channel 15 of the Ashland Home Network and in the rest of Southern Oregon on Charter Cable Channel 182. Showtimes are 8 o'clock a.m. on Mondays and 7:30 p.m. on Thursdays. Showtimes will vary in different areas. Check your local public access and education stations. I want to thank my director, Denise Ross, and my talented and loyal crew, and I want to thank you, our viewers. All of you help make this program an award winner. Join us next time for Ramping Up Your English. I'm John Letts.
You've been watching Ramping Up Your English, a support program for intermediate level English language learners. Learn more. Visit our website at letscreate.org. You can also watch or download today's program at archive.org/details/RogueTV. Join us next time on RBTV Voices for Ramping Up Your English.